babies looking for food, starvation, the recipe, people subdued. When the people you trust got it in for you. Deceit is the word of the day and every clue. Don't let it go, it's from the days of old. Time is up, but some still do not know. Can I make up my mind? Is it worth the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to make it mine? Life's never fair, but don't listen to the TV. Go out and take a listen to the streets with the people in the slums and the homeless bums with degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. See, they want you to know about the black sheep, leaving 7 roads to the 12 families all around the globe with an ancient code. Is it really asking a lot to say a death old? Cause we sitting on the earth looking back at extinct, and I'm standing on some ground that's about to sink. I ain't scared for a minute, I ain't about to blink, but I documented for the world what I see and think. Feel we on the call and I feel we on the brink. All Congress gonna do is waste paper and ink. Vote or die, you voted and you'll die. You can have it both ways, can't say it's a lie. You can march all you want, but they playing you wrong. They only understand war, it's the same old song. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. War, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. Like a lotus coming out of the mud with colors, I create envy in those with power but jealous. I unify the poor with my song, the hell with the others. Descended the way they treat indigenous brothers. Cause I understand we link forever. They try to hate us even though that we keep it together. I'm not talking about controlling the air or the weather. I'm talking about maintaining the truth, the high endeavor. A rebel drops bombs in the midst of trouble. The free world counterattack and now there's double. But nature gets the shit in a way that's subtle. If you stop the machines for a minute you might hear, but they won't cause the TV's whisper in the ear. And capitalism has eyes that don't tear, and they cloud up and get crazy and won't stare. And like an ab, it's hard to get an ass to listen. Living like this is like living in prison. It's hard to keep hope when you're living in prison. The spiritual thoughts, so yes, the mental prison. The outside, yes, it's got to get through. Something's gotta die, so something here can live. Your life is nothing if you got nothing to give. Keeping the spiritual, yes, disguised as religion. Controlling your mind, the mental prison. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. War, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war.
Alright folks, let me know how the audio is. We back with another day, and we're gonna have a lesson about life, you know, a real lesson about how to stay ahead of what the conspirators are out to do. And it's not a surprise, it shouldn't be a surprise to many people, because the bottom line is that there are people, there are countries, a couple, that see the United States of America as a problem and really would like to see a civil war in it. And if you've been listening to me for a minute, you've heard me say this for over a year now, that there are countries that would really like to see the United States in a civil war, that would really like to see the country broken into pieces. And I know it's hard for some Americans to get that. If you don't get outside of the country, you know, you might hear things on TV and you don't believe it. Yo, get the hell out of America, get outside of America and see that it's not just the news in America saying it. No, 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 no. When you get to be a powerful nation like the US that has a very different demographic, the U.S. is a multicultural nation and has, as a multicultural nation, has become the most wealthiest, most powerful nation, single nation on earth. But the United States has enemies. And every time there's an election, every time political tensions, usually around an election, but you see groups of individuals come out. And of course, they don't make it obvious, but you've heard the warnings. Look, the last election cycle, What was the goal of Iran? What was the goal of Russia? What was the goal of China in their cyber warfare? See, when they're doing cyber warfare, it means you are at war. They are at war. They are at war, whether you like it or not, whether you want to believe it or not. What do their cyber optics do? They try to spread division among Americans. That is the goal. That is the absolute goal. Why do they do that? Because if they can do that, they can have a way to control something, you see, with that division. Now, if you think that it's only cyber warfare, and you think there aren't anything like false flag operations that go on in Western nations or in even the United States of America, you are a fool. You are a fool. So first of all, what I want to say is that, my sympathies goes out to Charlie Kirk's family that have to suffer his loss and his brutal assassination. My heart goes out to that family because they don't have anything to do with his message. That's just them. Everybody deserves to have a family, and there's no way in hell killing over difference should be accepted. It shouldn't be accepted. Once you have that, you have a serious problem. But guess who else knows that? Guess who else knows the United States has a division problem? Guess who else knows that? The enemies of the United States know. And the United States has 350 million people, citizens. And then there's others, right? The United States, because of the president you have right now, has actually fired a lot of FBI people that would be protecting your necks. He's actually taken people that would be looking for folks like this and put them out there with ICE on the street to find ICE. He's actually taken the National Guard, this President Donald Trump, and sent them to go clean up trash in Washington, D.C. to rake the, make sure the grass is growing. Literally, that's what this president has done. They have taken people off of the security apparatus of the United States, and they announced it wholeheartedly. Proudly did the Trump administration brag about dismantling the government. They bragged about it. And yes, they put people that are complete, utter fools, incompetent fools in charge of every main security apparatus that the country has. Hegseth, drunk ass man in charge of the Pentagon. Tulsi Gabbard can't even be trusted, suspected to be a Russian operative, head of the CIA. Who else is it? You get this dude, Kash Patel, to be head of the FBI. Yo, Kash Patel. Like, what? You couldn't even do the Epstein files on day one. They couldn't even do the Epstein. They can't even get to the bottom of that. Yo, I have no faith whatsoever that they can catch anybody that's involved in this. If it's more than one person or anybody else. And if they just happen to, okay, wow. It would not be impressive at all. And it wouldn't have a damn thing to do with Kash Patel, Tulsi Gabbard, or anybody else in the Trump administration. It would only have something to do with the career personnel in those agencies. Now, pay attention, y'all. I mean, I'm just speaking my mind. I know a lot of people agree with me because a lot of people have said this. I mean, Tulsi Gabbard, why the hell is she the head? Kash Patel is being sued by career FBI officials. Donald Trump just fired the person that prosecuted Ghislaine Maxwell. See, in this universe that you live in under Donald Trump, the people that have the career expertise get fired because they're not trusted to do their job. And then you get incompetence. You get the National Guard not in not in Utah. You get the Marines, not in Utah. No, nowhere near Utah where the assassination happens. Successful assassination happens. Nowhere near that. That FBI didn't know some shit like that was going down that day. They couldn't figure that out. That is a failure to secure the United States of America. That's what that is. That's a failure. You know, but in any case, let's listen. Let's listen to some of the folks that have some things to say. And I'm not one for always trusting the experts. No, because you got to remember, experts is what got us in the situation we're in today. Right now, all the experts, the Supreme Court is defunct. They're a bunch of experts claiming to know the Constitution really, but they're really paid off. They're really corrupt. They're really capping for Trump. You know, look at all of this. They take away due process and they can't catch a damn assassin with that. That didn't help them with the assassin. That only helps them go find some Hispanics to harass. But that won't help them with the assassin. No. Because, see, they can't go and racially profile and catch somebody for that one, can they? No, they can't just stop everybody that looks like him on the street and say, you're an assassin. Let me stop you. You look like an assassin. No, that's just for the people who are delivering for Uber. You can do them. You can get them. That's just for the people, you know, that work on that are on a work site, a construction site. That erasing due process. Yeah, racially profiling. Can you catch the assassin by racially profiling? No, Supreme Court. No, you can't. Supreme Court, you cannot catch the assassin by racially profiling, you stupid fucks. You stupid fucks. Donald Trump and his administration has stoked hate the entire goddamn time. That was their plan in the first place, to sow division in every way, shape, or form. Every act that he commits is one to sow division. So do not trust that these are normal times. And here's a sign that they're not normal times, because you've gotten used to it. Just a month ago, people already goddamn forgot who walked into town.
Yep. And you look at Vladimir Putin emerging from his aircraft just seconds after President Trump has emerged from his. So Trump, the first to set foot on Alaskan soil here as Vladimir Putin makes his way down the stairs. All of this presumably choreographed between the two sides very tightly in terms of the...
Intelligent minds know this meeting had nothing to do with Ukraine. Nothing at all. Nothing at all to do with Ukraine. Zero. This was about everything else, but not Ukraine.
Protocol here of who greets who and when, and, you know, whether each man makes the other man wait for the handshake. You know, all of that is something that both sides will have thought through very clearly. Striking to me, Scott, that you have this setup here. The sign says Alaska 2025. There's a blue platform for the leaders to stand on, which aides were vigorously vacuuming in the hour leading up to this meeting. But then flanking the stage are F-22 jets, American F-22 jets, noses pointed in toward where the two leaders will be standing.
Right. Now, nobody knows, no one knows who committed this offense. Nobody knows. But already the right wing is out there blaming liberals. Already. They don't even need to wait. You know, they're just out there blaming liberals. It's not a normal day. You don't do investigations to find out somebody's motive. No, the liberals got to own this in a country where the liberals have been saying, hey, there's not enough gun reform for 2 decades. And Republicans have been, you know, basically stopping it. Supreme Court has been basically stopping it. Yes, the Supreme Court has. Now, I'm only showing this thing about Putin because, yes, the Russians have been known in the Western world, in modern times, in recent times, to do false flag operations. That's exactly what the EU security apparatus has been saying. if you just pay attention to what's been going on in the EU. The same political discourse they tried to sow, dissent they tried to sow in the US with the public, in the United States, they tried to sow it in Europe too. But Europe, they saw it for what it was. They saw it and acted. Their courts acted quickly because they saw the threat for what it was. The United States, that didn't happen at all. They didn't see the threat for what it was. Not at all. You know, and now you have this. This is what you got out of it. You got this, a complete, utter failure. Now, what are they saying? What are the left, you know, this is crazy. I mean, what are the right saying? This is what they're saying already. They don't know who did it. Keep in mind, the last person that took a shot at Trump was actually registered Republican, you know, and they still calling that guy liberal. It's like, what the hell?
Democrats own what happened today. I am devastated. My kids have called panicking. They probably, all the kids of every conservative in the country call panicking. Just because you speak your mind on an issue doesn't mean you get shot.
Then, by that logic, do Republicans own the shooting of the two Democratic lawmakers in Minnesota?
Political.
Isn't this on both sides?
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm asking.
We
a
don't
serious
know
question.
what condition Charlie Kirk is in right now.
That was a good question. Fair question. Do Democrats own any other shootings that happen? I mean, do Republicans own them? Let's listen again.
Democrats own what happened today. I am devastated. My kids have called panicking. They probably, all the kids of every conservative in the country call panicking. Just because you speak your mind on an issue doesn't mean you get shot.
Then, by that logic, do Republicans own the shooting of the two Democratic lawmakers in Minnesota?
Do Republicans own the shooting of the two Democratic lawmakers? Do they own it by that logic? Put a 1 in the chat if you think Republicans own, because they stoked hatred through words, through speech. It's called hate speech, political hate speech. Do you think the Republicans own the assassinations, the murders of the two Democratic lawmakers under this new Trump administration, under this new Kash Patel administration? If you do, if you think Republicans must own that, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't think Republicans need to own the two political assassinations of the Democratic lawmakers that just happened under Trump just a month and a half ago, if you don't, put a 2 in the chat. I'm just curious because, you know, I don't like to talk. I like to get some feedback. I like to see what the comments are like in the chat. I like to see if who's phony, who's keeping it real, and who's keeping it fake. You see, I mean, you know, and I bet you the ones with the 2s in the chat, they have the most to say. Shut this site down. Shut it down. That's a lie. Putin has nothing to do with it. Putin is my God, and so is Trump. And if you don't like Epstein, to hell with you, because we finished with Epstein. We don't care if Trump didn't release the files. We don't care. Now, okay, I see a lot of 2s in here. Okay, now, for the people to put 2 in the chat, do you want Trump to release the Epstein files with only the victims' names redacted? What's your answer to that? The people that put 2 in the chat, the people that think Republicans don't own the murder of the two Democratic lawmakers, do you think Trump needs to release the Epstein files with only the victims' names? See, look at this. They don't write it now. See, you see, and this is exactly why it's good to ask questions and not just talk. You see, so let me get back to this. It's just hypocrisy. It's just called hypocrisy. Let's take a listen to her hypocrisy now. Let's follow your rules. For you people that put 2 in the chat that don't think the Republicans own the 2 murders of the Democratic lawmakers, the assassinations that happened under Trump's new administration, under Kash Patel's leadership at the FBI, do you agree with her assessment when she says the Democrats need to own the assassination of Charlie? Do you think so? Do you think Democrats need to own it? If you think Democrats own the assassination of Charlie Kirk, put a 1 in the chat. And if you don't, put a 2. I just want to see how people flip-flop. I just want to see how people flip-flop. Look at that. Exactly. See, Whoever this Nor is just a complete, utter hypocrite. Complete, utter hypocrite. You know, people like to flip around based on their political alliances. Well, here's the thing. Republicans damn sure have not been talking about gun safety in the United States of America. And on top of that, they not sending the National Guard overnight. Did they even tell you, the Utah governor, to release the National Guard to help them in this investigation, to find this criminal, find this assassin? Did they do that? No. No, 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 no. No, they didn't. Now, let me ask you, though, just in case I'm wrong, but I already know I'm right. Did Trump command the governor of Utah to release the National Guard to help find the assassin? Put a 1 in the chat if Trump told the governor of Utah to send the National Guard to help. Put a 1 in the chat if Trump did that. I didn't hear it. I didn't hear Trump do nothing about no assassination. He didn't care about the National Guard for that. No Marines on that one, yo. No Marines on that. He was like, fuck this guy. The Marines, he's not important enough to send the Marines. He's not important enough to use all the resources to bring this man to justice. No, 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 no. See, this guy would have to have been killed in a liberal state for that to happen. That's facts. He hasn't done it. Let's listen to this one more time.
Minnesota.
Political Democrats own what happened today. I am devastated. My kids have called panicking. They probably, all the kids of every conservative in the country called panicking. Just because you...
Did she ask Trump to send the National Guard, to release the National Guard in Utah? No, she didn't. No, she didn't. She didn't either. She's only for looking for crime in liberal states. Only there. Only there.
Speak your mind on an issue doesn't mean you get shot.
See, liberal towns are more important to protect the safety than Utah. That's basically what that is.
By that logic, do Republicans own the shooting of the 2 Democratic lawmakers in Minnesota?
Political...
Isn't this on both sides?
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm asking.
We don't know what condition Charlie Kirk is in right now. Some raging...
He's dead. Charlie Kirk is dead. Charlie Kirk is dead, and he's not coming back. He's dead forever. But these are some of the things that Charlie Kirk had going on in his portfolio.
I think it's worth a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational.
Is that rational? Is that a rational deal? Let me know what you think. Is that rational?
I think it's worth a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational.
He said that his death is worth it for the to protect the Second Amendment. That's basically what he said. Some gun deaths is just what you got to live for. And it just so happened to happen to him. It just so happened to happen to him. So, is it worth it? Put a 1 in the chat if you think it's worth it. Deaths, gun deaths, for the protection, but also his death for the protection of the Second Amendment. Is it worth it? Put a 1 in the chat if it's worth it. Put a 2 in the chat if it's not. Me, myself, I don't think it's worth it. But if a man lives that way and believes it himself, who the hell am I to stop his ass from dying of a gunshot? If he believes it's worth it. What the hell? I think that is ridiculous. You're in the richest country on earth and you're walking around like it's fucking Israel. You're walking around like someone's launching bombs at you. You're launching, and you're never going to use your gun to protect your country at all. Not ever. You will never do it. You will never use your gun to protect any constitutional right, because your constitutional rights are being stripped from you right in front of your goddamn eyes. No. And a gun didn't protect this man. No, a gun didn't protect this man. And a gun didn't even protect the Second Amendment, because it's senseless, because a gun can't do that either. All of this, and this dude is totally wrong. He's equating any type of weapons to protecting the Second Amendment. No, you're hurting the Second Amendment. When you have all types of crazy shit going on, you actually hurt the Second Amendment. And I'm telling you, Trump will be the president that you might actually see challenge the Second Amendment right in your face, because he's already challenged other constitutional rights and you didn't say shit about it. At the end of the day, the Fourth Amendment is just another, the First Amendment, damn, what am I talking about? The First and Second constitutional rights, right? Freedom of speech. You know, all of this stuff is constitutional law, but the very people who only see it for gun rights watch other constitutional laws go down the drain. Look, this is crazy. Let me play this one more time.
I think it's worth have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal.
It didn't protect him. It didn't protect him at all. He got killed by a gun. But this is some of his other endeavors. This is some of his bright ideas. Charlie Kirk, I'm sorry if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. Really? Really? Well, where were the white people that protected your life from an assassin? Are they qualified? Are they qualified? Were they? Where were your boys? Where was Trump? Where was Trump? Where was J.D. Vance? Where was Kash Patel? Where were any of the people that talked negatively about about diversity, equity, inclusion? Did any of those people that are against diversity, equity, and inclusion save your life, Charlie Kirk? No, they didn't. They didn't at all, man. They didn't at all. And guess who shot your ass? Guess what the person looked like? You can't even use racially profiling to catch him, because he just as well might look like you. This is, it's more things like this going to happen under the Trump administration, because this is how the guy really is. This is how he really is. This is how ridiculous it is.
And it has to stop now. And everybody's accountable. And we're watching what they're saying on television.
The people with the biggest mouths, like this guy, they didn't save his life. They just go up on TV and get paid a check and talk shit and do nothing. These are the do nothing people. The only people they want to do something to is some minorities. Did a Hispanic kill him? Did a Venezuelan kill him? Did a Jamaican, did a Haitian kill him? Did a Mexican kill him? Did a woman kill him? Did a woman kill him? Did a black American, the ones you took, wanted to take their names and their faces out of the military, off the ships, and now that, did one of the African Americans kill him? Sounds to me like you're looking for the wrong motherfucking people. Sounds to me like you did everything and couldn't even save the people's lives that you claim to give a goddamn fuck about, because you don't really give a fuck about this man's life or his family for real. You really don't. You care about hatred of other people first. That's what you care about. You care about picking on the weak. You care about picking on the little people. That's what you care about more, because you're bigots. You are bigots. Nothing you did saved this man's life, because you and your administration, Trump's administration, and everybody that caps for him that are in the United States are complete, utter failures. Utter failures. They only know how to harass other people.
And who's saying what? The politicians, the media, and all these rats out there. This can never happen again. It ends now. Greg's right again. This is a turning point. This hits differently because Charlie was one of us. And Trump gets hit in the ear. Charlie gets shot.
Hey, look, guess who's not one of them? The Hispanics they're hunting down in the streets, ripping the babies out of their arms just to deport them. They're not one of them. They're not one of you. Even though they didn't murder his ass. They're not one of you, Jesse Waters. They're not one of you. The women that want the right to control their body and end up getting sick or dying or almost dying because they can't get an abortion. They're not one of you, Jesse Waters. They're not one of you. They're not one of you. And one of you did not do a damn thing to save this man's life because you're utterly incompetent. You're failures.
They came after Kavanaugh with a rifle to his neighborhood. They went after Musk's cars. They just shot 2 Jews outside the embassy. Think about it. Scalise got shot, barely survived. It's happening. You got trans shooters. You got riots in LA.
Yeah, this dude is like, we got trans shooters. Oh, really? Oh, really? Oh, really? So what happened to Columbine? What happened to Columbine? What happened to, what are these people talking about? What are these people talking about? Whenever it comes down to being against the weak, being against the disadvantaged, they're happy to do that any single day of the week. And they gloat about it on national TV. I mean, this is the very TV network that got sued billions of dollars for lying about an election.
They are at war with us. Whether we want to accept it or not, they are at war.
They sent the Marines into a state, and he's talking about they are at war. Dude, what the hell are you talking about? If we're at war, then why did you send the if we're at war with you, why is the Marines after us? Why are the Marines in our states? If we're at war with you, why the hell are the National Guard coming to our? They were in our shit before this dude got killed. Like, what the hell? How come they didn't say that before? I mean, what the hell are you going to do now? Now that you claim you're at war, what the fuck else can you do? You can't do anything else. You've already done it all. You've done everything. These people have done everything to show they hate liberals. They done sent the damn Marines, the National Guard. They trying to gerrymander elections. Yo, MAGA people, look, I'm going to tell you, who thinks that a person that used to be MAGA, that used to be a Republican, and found out that Trump was a hypocrite, or found out that all of these people were hypocrites, that they're really against poor white Americans in reality, how much you want to bet that a person that used to be a MAGA person, used to be a Republican, is the one who did it? How much you want to bet? If you think a Republican, a person that was a Republican, did this, put a 1 in the chat. I just want to see. I think it's 1. Why wouldn't I think the person who shot Trump was a Republican? Why the hell wouldn't I? I'm listening to people across the country talk about the grocery prices, talk about the Epstein files. I'm talking about Republicans and MAGA people. You know, I mean, what the hell? Nobody knows. It could be a MAGA person. or because networks like this have stoked so much division in the country, it could also be a false flag. Because when you have networks that stoke divisions like this, it makes it much more easier for there to be a false flag operation. And you just don't know. You just don't know. You're not going to know. You're not going to know so easy. It's going to take time. You see, look at this. This is something else this is Charlie. This is his own stuff. This is who he is. This is this man. This is his legacy. Trump ally Charlie Kirk suggests children should watch public executions. Did his child just not watch his own execution? Did his child just not watch his own execution? This man thinks children should watch public executions, and he got executed. Publicly. I mean, you can't make it up. It's not made up. This is his words. These are his words. He's an avid gun holder. An avid gun holder. Did the gun save him? Did the gun save anybody in his family? Who did the gun save? Did the gun save him? If the guns in America, if any gun or any person that had a gun in the United States of America saved his ass, put a 1 in the chat. And if none did, put a 0 in the chat. I'll be the one to start off. Let's have an honest conversation. 0. None did. Not one gun. United States got more guns than any other place on earth per person. Not one person with one gun saved his goddamn life. Not one person with one gun made sure that the child saw her father come home safely. Not one person with one gun. Not one. There's only zeros. So that Second Amendment, goddamn, you really put all your eggs and apples in that shit? Like, are you stupid? Are you stupid? When is it going to stop? When is the stupidity going to stop? You know, but again, if you want children seeing public executions, maybe you should get killed publicly. If you think it's okay for innocent people to die, you know, some innocent people to die, that it's okay. Columbine is okay. You know, if we have to do that to protect the Second Amendment, then maybe you should be one of them that dies. What the fuck? Why would I argue against that? Better you than me. I don't believe in that shit. I don't believe in that shit. Why shouldn't you die that way if you believe in it? Why shouldn't you? Why can't the people that don't believe in it live in peace? And the people that do believe in this kind of crazy shit get what they think is okay. It's just choices. It's just choices. I mean, it's not me. I'm alive. I don't walk around with a gun. I think it's crazy that Americans have to really, the most powerful, richest country on earth. You got people so stupid that they care more about their guns than they care about education and healthcare. I mean, that's what you get in the United States. People care more about their guns than the health of their children, health of their elderly, health of their wives and their husbands, education for their children. They care more about guns, and this is what you got. So you didn't get a great debate with educated people debating both sides that went to school, you know, that represent a country where everybody has a strong education, strong skill set. No, that's not what you got. You got what you produce. That's what you got. You got what you produce, and you cannot lie about it. You cannot lie about it. This is the United States of America. And there's so many people that die like this. And a lot of the times they are the people that are sitting up there every single time voting for more guns. No, we don't want any gun control. We don't want any gun control. And one of them gets killed. It's always like that. No matter how many, 100 people could get killed by one man, and they would, you know, that somehow, because in some state you don't even have to register a weapon, you don't even have to tell people. You could buy a weapon without a license in some states in the United States of America, just because of gun laws like that, just because of that. And it doesn't even take all those goddamn guns to even do it. All it takes is one person that knows how to shoot just a damn average rifle. That's all it takes. And the rest of you people with all those fancy ass guns couldn't even save his goddamn life. You are failures. You are failures. You're failures. You're failures.
We've had political assassinations recently in Minnesota. We had an attempted assassination on the governor of Pennsylvania. Nothing I can say can bring back Charlie Kirk. Our nation is broken. We desperately need leaders in our country, but more than the leaders, we just need every single person in this country to think about where we are and where we want to be. We've had political assassinations recently.
Ain't going to think about that, though. This is the man that people should actually be listening to. He's in Utah, and actually he's giving a wonderful, responsible message. But this is not the message of Donald Trump. No, 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 no. This is not the message. It's not a cool and calm message. No, this guy was cool and calm. He was rational. He's wise. But I know one thing for sure. Guess who would want a civil war in the United States of America more than anyone? Vladimir Putin would. If there was a civil war in the United States of America, Vladimir Putin would love that. He would love it. He would love it. Guess who else would love it? President Xi would love a civil war in the United States of America. They would love it. They would love it. Why not? Why not? All the people that want a civil war in the United States of America, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you want a civil war for the United States of America. Put a 1 in the chat if you want a civil war. Put a 0 in the chat if you don't. Why not? I mean, I don't, but I'm going to tell you what. I also don't believe in living in fear and sitting around being harassed all day either. You see what I'm saying? And there's only one party that is harassing people, violating the law right now. It's only one person. It's not me. These are not my words. Trump ally Charlie Kirk suggests children should watch public executions. He was executed publicly. He's the one who said it, and it happened to him. That's not me saying that dumb shit. What the hell? He's fucking crazy. That man is fucking crazy. Just call it what it is. He is fucking crazy. He's a dumbass out here. And you people out here think this guy is like out for safety and peace. No, he's a dumbass. He's just dumb.
Question for my colleague from the state of Louisiana, because I'm curious.
Look, this dude, I bet you Charlie Kirk loved Trump sending in the military into liberal states. I bet you he loves that idea. I bet you he has this excuse all in his brain about how it's justified, it's right. Hey, that's lawful. Nothing wrong with that. Why would you not want it? Why would you not want it? I bet you he is one of those people that said that too. I bet you.
Curious as to where your bill is. Louisiana is the state with the second highest rate of deaths in this nation. You are more likely to be shot standing on a random street in your state than you are in Washington, D.C. So my question is, where's your bill for the occupation of the state of Louisiana to keep your people safe, if you're at all sincere in this?
Gentlemen, yield for an answer.
I yield for an answer.
I support state rights. I'm a constitutionalist.
But not D.C.?
Stand by. As a constitutionalist, I support my state, my sovereign state's legislature, which is doing everything it can to push back upon the crime rate of the Democrat-controlled cities.
Okay,
of
so
New Orleans,
I'll take my time back. I'll take my time back.
If you remove
That's the
the
rules.
crime stats
That's the
of New
rules.
Orleans,
I'll take my time back.
Louisiana, one of the
I'll take my
safest
time back. So you only invoke the rules
in the
when
country.
other people are speaking, not when you're speaking. Okay.
That's your time.
I agree with you. Look, I'm for state sovereignty. So what do you think about California?
And California is not where I live. You're asking about my state. I'm
See,
telling
you only care, and I'll reclaim my time. I'll reclaim my time. I'll reclaim my time. I'll reclaim my time. I will reclaim my time. The gentleman will stop.
You know, it's hilarious how a man could be assassinated under Donald J. Trump's administration, and he ain't called no Marines, although he thinks it's perfectly fine and legal. He didn't call any National Guard. He didn't tell the governor of Utah to release the National Guard. Nope. He didn't even utter it. He didn't even utter it. And this, think about this, y'all. Think about this. And this is a guy who supported Trump. Charlie Kirk supported and capped for Trump every single second of the day. And Trump didn't do one motherfucking thing to lift a finger for his assassination in front of his own family. He just didn't. He just didn't. That wasn't the type of crises he thought the National Guard could help with. Now, let me ask you this. Do you think they're ever going to find the person who did it? Do you think they're ever going to find the person who did it? Put a 1 in the chat if you think they will find the assassin. Me, myself, I don't think they will. I don't think they're going to find him. Because, number one, they're not that good. They're not that good. This is not the first assassination, but I'm telling you, they're not that good right now. And there's a reason why they're not good. There's a reason why they're not good, because of the leadership in Washington, D.C. The leadership in D.C. is poor. And the leadership in D.C. has abdicated its responsibility to protect the public. That's what's going on in D.C. And it's not going to get any better. It's not going to get any better anytime soon, sadly. But let's take a peep at what Mr. Trump has to say. He got big words. No National Guard, but big words, though. Let's listen.
Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now. My administration will find each and every one of those who can.
Look, he said the same thing about crime in D.C. It must stop right now. Okay, so where are you going to start? The dude got killed in Utah. You going to start in Utah? Is that where you're going to start? Nope. Not going to start in Utah. Not going to start in Utah. If you wanted to get away with that, number one, the person who did it is a good shot. He did not miss. Okay? Likely had a lot of training, and it's definitely premeditated. Yeah. How do you find a lone man that looks like you, Mr. Trump? How do you find him in the United States of America? How do you find him? Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever heard of any groups in the United States of America that have plotted to kill right-wingers, that have plotted to kill other right-wingers? Have you ever heard of that before?
Who contributed to this atrocity and to other.
The person who took a shot at you, Mr. Trump, the person who took a shot at you is that person.
other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials, and everyone else who brings order to our country. From the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others, radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many.
Look, they don't. This is why you're never going to catch them. This is why. Listen to what he's saying, because this is not what you say when you want to catch someone. What he has done is, without any police, without any investigators, without any FBI, without any AT, nobody, he himself has called it a radical left shooting. But he has no proof. That's why you're not going to catch the dude. Right there. Right there is why. There it is. I mean, did they catch the guy? Is the guy caught? Did they catch the guy? Put a 1 in the chat if they caught the man that killed Charlie Kirk. Put a 1 in the chat if they caught the man who killed Charlie. Listen to this. Trump just called it a radical left assassination.
From the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others, radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. Tonight, I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died, the values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God. Charlie.
Where's this dude? He believes it. Look, it's not just him. This is where their machine is going. This is their machine. They already had this plan. This is their political reaction. These are their talking points.
Democrats own what happened today. I am devastated. My kids have called panicking. All the kids of every conservative in the country call panicking. Just because you speak your mind on an issue doesn't mean you get shot.
Then by that logic,
is she blaming, is she blaming Democrats for this assassination of Charlie Kirk? If she's blaming Democrats for the assassination of Charlie Kirk, put a 1 in the chat. This is also the president of the United States. He's blaming liberals, the radical left, for the assassination. Have any police department, have any FBI claimed to know who did it? Not one. Not one. And right now, they have everybody out looking for somebody who's radical left. What is that person going to look like if they're radical left? What do they look like?
Republicans own the shooting of 2 Democratic lawmakers.
Let's own what happened today. I am devastated. My kids have called panicking. All the kids of every conservative in the country call panicking. Just because you speak your mind on an issue doesn't mean you get shot.
Then by that logic, do Republicans own the shooting of the 2 Democratic lawmakers in Minnesota? Isn't this on both sides?
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm asking.
We don't know what condition Charlie Kirk is in right now. Some raging leftist lunatic put a
bullet in Charlie Kirk's head. Neck. That's what she said. Is she correct or is she false? Put a 1 in the chat if she's correct. Put a 2 in the chat if she's not correct. Did a raging leftist lunatic put a bullet in Charlie Kirk's neck? I mean, where's that news at? Where's the news? That's on Fox News. I've never heard any police officer claim that was the case. I never heard the FBI claim it was the case. Never heard anyone investigating claim it was the case. It's never been said. It's never been said. Trump has done the same thing. So if you're looking for a radical left person and someone knows that you're a cult, anybody can get away with it when they already know what you're going to do. If you're just going to blanket blame liberals for everything, then anybody else can get away with anything. Anybody else can get away with anything. Yeah. I mean, guess who can get away with anything?
Yep. And you look at Vladimir Putin emerging from his aircraft just seconds after President Trump has emerged from his. So Trump, the first to set foot on Alaskan soil here as Vladimir Putin makes his way down the stairs. All of this presumably choreographed between the two sides very tightly in terms of the protocol here of who greets who and when. And, you know, whether each man makes the other man wait for the handshake, you know, all of that is something that both sides will have thought through very clearly. Striking to me, Scott, that you have this setup here. The sign says Alaska 2025. There's a blue platform for the leaders to stand on, which aides were vigorously vacuuming in the hour leading up to this meeting. But then flanking the stage are F-22 jets, American.
Yeah, man. Putin seems to be able to get anything out of Trump right about now. None of that day one stuff happened because Trump is a lunatic and doesn't know what he's talking about. So day one didn't happen with Ukraine. Putin has dog walked Trump around, and we pretty much know why. I've been saying this for a year. Anyone with any brains would come to the same conclusion. I hate to say that way, but it is facts. Trump ain't going to do a damn thing. Putin is a threat to the United States of America because he has Trump by the balls because of his relationship with Epstein and espionage and blackmail. So Putin can get away with anything in the United States right now. In fact, Trump is pretty much doing what Putin would want. He would want you to put the military on the United States citizens. That's something Putin would want. He would want you to send the Marines into California. Putin would want that. He would want you to strip away your Fourth Amendment, the First Amendment, Fourth Amendment, right against illegal search and seizure, racial profiling. He would want you to strip those rights away. You know, all those things. This dude is doing exactly what Putin would want someone to do. That's all that's happening. That's all that's happening. So if he knows that you can do all those things that he would want you to do, he also knows you're too stupid to figure out if you're using him in another way. Who would benefit from a civil war in the United States of America? Would Americans benefit from it, or would Putin benefit from it? Would China benefit from it? You tell me, who would benefit more? Who would benefit more? You tell me.
This evidence that was in the Epstein files, they have this compromising material.
I think Maxwell was working for any number of security and intelligence services, yes. And I think anyone that was involved in exfiltrating Soviet Jews to Israel from the Soviet Union must have been cooperating, obviously, with both the Israeli government and probably the intelligence services.
And now the scrutiny surrounding Donald Trump's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. What's your theory?
I don't really have a theory, but what I would say is that I think underlying this maybe is a consciousness that the Russians might have access to Epstein-related materials. And I think there are two ways in which that may well have happened in the past. One is, and you'd have to go back a long way on this, it is said that Epstein and Robert Maxwell had a business relationship of some sort in the 1980s, going into the early 90s, before Maxwell died on the yacht, you'll remember. And that at that time, Maxwell introduced Ghislaine to Epstein, and that's maybe how they actually met in the first place. I swear I've seen a photograph that relates to that period.
There's a picture of Robert and Epstein at the Plaza Hotel in New York.
Yeah, and I think I've even possibly seen one of Ghislaine as well as the other two, but I can't seem to find them on the internet. You wonder.
Yeah, I've never found that one because we've always struggled to actually confirm the fact that the father introduced them. But there is a feeling that Epstein laundered his money after death to take care of the daughter.
Okay, so going back into the 80s, what I think Robert Maxwell was up to, and have good reason to believe he was up to, was under the sort of umbrella of freeing the Soviet Jews from the Soviet Union and taking them to Israel. He was doing the Russian government various favors. And in fact, if you're aware of Catherine Belton's book, Putin's People, it does deal with all this. In that towards the end of the Soviet Union, a small elite unit was set up to basically launder Soviet Communist Party hard currency into the West in order to protect it in case the country was reformed or collapsed. And Robert Maxwell was definitely involved in that operation. And I think it's quite credible to believe that if he was working at the time with Jeffrey Epstein, that Jeffrey Epstein was also involved in that operation. And that would put the sort of Epstein-Russia link back to the late 1980s, as early as that, something we can debate. So that would be one thing. And secondly, much more recently, you'll be aware of this guy, this strange American, John Dugan, who effectively...
So for people that have been saying, I mean, I've been saying this for a minute, that there's definitely likely a Russian connect on both sides, from Trump's exploits, being a New York landlord, bankrupt casino owner, Russian mafia, which is Kremlin ties, and also on the Epstein side. I mean, if you were a Russian operative, which plenty of them are around Trump, why would you not want to know what's in Epstein's Mar-a-Lago place? Why would you not want to know about anything about that? Why would you just not want to know about that? Secondly, why would Trump be making these types of statements, having women accuse him of actual assaulting them when they were children? Why would you think that he wouldn't do the same thing when he have a beauty pageant in Russia? Why would you think that? I mean, just think, because this is happening a little too fast for people. Unprecedented things keep happening one at a time, so rapidly. People actually think Putin came to Alaska a year ago. No, that was just a month ago. What do you think they were talking about? What do you think they were planning? You think Putin wants Trump out of power? Do you think Putin wants Trump out of power? See, there's an A and B plan. There's an A and B game. Number one, if you can start a civil war, fantastic. Or if you can't do that, if you can keep Trump in power, fantastic. Because as long as you're getting one of those two things from Trump, Putin has all the wiggle room in the world he needs. He has all the wiggle room in the world he needs. And he's very likely going to get it because unlike in Europe caught on quick to the disinformation and the agents running around to different political groups. Yeah, they locked folks up over this. They caught on quick, which J.D. Vance comes in coded language to Europe and criticizes them, talking about, what about freedom of speech? Freedom of speech. No, that's code word for let the disinformation spread and create political unrest. That's what he was talking about. Well, the United States didn't stop it. And the Maga group, they do kind of rub shoulders with that Russian shit. That's what they do. They like Putin. MAGA literally promotes Putin. They see Putin as a peace lover, like seriously, which is why you saw Trump walking Putin right down the aisle. Now, you heard this man already just say Epstein and Russian intelligence. You already heard him say that. And look who we got here. Yo, this is not an accident. This is not all happening at once. These are not separate events. They're not separate events. They're not separate events. I said this months ago, that this next thing, basically 2 months ago, I said this right after this visit. Right after this visit, too. I've said it a few times. And right after this visit, I actually said here on my channel that what you're likely about to see right now is some political assassinations attempts. That's what I said. False flag operations. That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said, because anyone else that's following Russian activity around the Western world knows that they've been accused of many things, assassinations. They've been accused of setting fires, sabotage. They've been accused of all kinds of acts. All kinds of acts. If you think they're not capable of committing them inside of the United States, you're very foolish. You're very foolish. And Americans are about to get a run for their money on that. Actually, they're about to get a run for their money on that. You know, it's it is something that is very American. The time is coming, like, for this kind of situation to happen, because nothing was done about it early enough. And so you reap what you sow. If you don't want health care, and you're easily distracted by being given little trophy token things like go chase down the immigrants, get rid of DEI. If that's what you want at the expense of your security, healthcare, being affordable food, being able to have a decent job that pays your bills, if you're okay with that, this is basically what you get.
We did receive video of the moment that shot rang out. We heard from our Aaron Katursky, Bob, that reports say that possibly that bullet hitting Charlie Kirk's neck, as our Aaron Katursky was describing, you could actually see blood pouring out. We did hear straight from Charlie Kirk's organization.
How do you already have a Maga group with a narrative that the person who did it was a liberal Democrat when the police don't even have a clue? They don't even have a person identified. That means they had a narrative already in place. It's very simple. That's what that means. And if you think Trump gives a damn about Charlie Kirk, oh, are you a fool? Oh, are you a fool? And if you think he's even intelligent enough to know when he's being used, if he's being used, probably not all the time, because he's got a huge narcissistic ego. But one thing he does know is transactions, and anything that happens, he will use to his political advantage. Right now, what Trump wants is to be the president. He wants to survive the midterm elections. Putin wants him to survive the midterm elections. You got to think about this, because Putin hated Biden and Harris. He feared them. He feared them. Do you really think Putin is not going to try to help Trump stay in power and do anything that he could do? Do you think Xi would try to do it? No, he doesn't need to do it, because he's got Putin to do the dirty work for him. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. And if you MAGAs really think that a right-winger wouldn't off another right-winger, then damn, you didn't even see Trump get his ass shot at. I mean, where you been?
That he co-founded Turning Point USA, that he is in the hospital, and they are all praying for him. Prayers coming from the President of the United States to those involved in his organization, those that have been on the tour with him. Aaron Katursky, anything new that you have learned, as we will continue, of course, to hit the top of the hour here. We're trying to get as much information as possible about the condition of Charlie Kirk after being shot there on the university campus in Utah.
It seemed, according to eyewitness accounts and by law enforcement experts who have viewed the video to be a very difficult injury from the single shot that struck Charlie Kirk. So everyone in the administration is sending prayers for his survival and well-being, but everyone is also braced for
he's
what
gone
could
now.
be some difficult news, Kira, because the single shot struck Charlie Kirk. Eyewitnesses said they saw a lot of blood coming from him, and then they all scattered. Now the university is urging everyone to leave campus to allow police to conduct the investigation. The suspect that was taken into custody, according to eyewitness accounts, was heard screaming, "I do it again," described as an older male wearing a blue shirt, someone who has white hair, but we've heard nothing else about the suspect, if it is indeed himself or his condition so far.
He didn't do it. They let him go. And that's very interesting. They say people heard him say, "I do it again." But there's a lot of there's a lot of MAGA people that don't like his ass. There's a lot of people that don't like Trump, that don't like this dude, and they're not all liberals. They're not all liberals. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is.
The local police have said nothing. It's only the university that's now urging everyone to clear out of campus.
I do want to bring in our national law enforcement and intelligence correspondent, Tom Winter. Tom, what are you hearing from your sources about either the suspect or what happened there on the campus of Utah Valley University?
Yeah, so Tom, it appears that one individual fired this shot, still clearing the campus. As you just heard from our eyewitness, a fairly incredible report from the scene. A SWAT team and other law enforcement currently going through the buildings of campus, obviously going through the grounds there that have now well been cleared out from the students from the shot that you're looking at there on the left, which was taken moments before this shot was fired. To the upper chest neck area of Charlie Kirk, a conservative commentator. Right now, we have not received official confirmation on the name of the individual that has been taken into custody, and if in fact that will ultimately be the individual that's been charged as a result of this incident. The condition of Kirk as of this hour is currently...
Yeah, he's dead now. So, the guy's dead. They don't know who it is. The Trump administration, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, they failed to capture the man. Trump did not send the National Guard out to assist the local police, the state police. He did not send the Marines out. He didn't even discuss it. It was just like, he ain't even give a damn, like flat out. He did not give a damn. But there's more interesting news. There's more interesting news here. Let's see here. Let's find out if they're going to catch him.
Right now, and I just want to sort of clarify where we are right now. There was back and forth about whether a suspect, a person of interest, or a subject had been apprehended. There was an individual in custody. Just moments ago, we got information from FBI Director Kash Patel that that person has been released after an interrogation by law enforcement, which would lead one to conclude that the suspect, whoever pulled this off, whoever committed this heinous act, is at large presently at the moment. We are, of course, going to continue following this situation. I want to bring in Senator Chris Murphy, Democrat of the state of Connecticut. He has, of course, experienced horrific...
Now, who fired all the people that would be looking for a would-be assassin? Who fired them?
Horrific gun violence in his own state, and is author of the book, The Violence Inside Us, A Brief History of an Ongoing American Tragedy. Senator, I wish that we did not have such regular occasions to speak in the aftermath of something, a wrenching and horrible act of violence, but we are here again. Your thoughts about what we have seen happen today?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I think about is Charlie Kirk's family, having spent way too much time with the sons and daughters and mothers and fathers of those who have fallen from gun violence. There's just no words to describe what they're going through right now. Nobody should have to live through this horror. But I'm certainly thinking about the quickening pace of political violence in this country. In an extraordinarily short amount of time, you've seen the murder of state legislators in Minnesota, attempted assassinations of the President of the United States, obviously January 6th still lives in our very present memory. And we've got to have a conversation about how we draw a line here, and we can't afford to argue who's more at risk, the right or the left. The fact of the matter is the shots are being fired at political figures, whether they are Republicans or Democrats. There has been a permissiveness about political violence, and I do think the President of the United States has to answer for the way in which he has created that culture of permissiveness, but there have been elements of the left who have lionized and celebrated violence as well, and this is a moment for everybody to assess where we are and recognize that our entire democratic experiment is going to crumble if people don't believe that they're safe when they express their political views.
Yeah, that's very foundational. I just want to note here, and we've been noting it tonight, that we don't yet know who did this. We don't know their motives. And it very well may be, as was the case, I think, in the wake of the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, that those motives or politics were illegible, inscrutable, something of a black box. And that's part of the context here. Although the point that you make there, I think, part of the reason we've seen such universal and unanimous condemnation, immediate, heartfelt, unanimous, is precisely because I think everyone understands that we feel like we're on the precipice of something that is not the sort of democratic society that we all believe in and want to have.
Yeah, that's right. And we do not yet know the motive here. I did hear the governor of Utah, somebody that I generally trust, call this a political assassination. Maybe he has information that the rest of us don't. But yes, and I think this requires a really deep dive into how we've arrived at.
I mean, a political assassination can be, it can be from local groups in the U.S. or it could be from foreign groups. And it's no doubt that it's a political assassination. What type of political assassination is it? What is the purpose? What is the motive? And if you can't get the first part right, capture the person, you can't get the second part right. You just can't take the second. If you can't get the first part right, you can't get the second part right. And how long is it going to take? How long do you think it should take before they catch this? When will you say, okay, they didn't do their job? Kash Patel, Trump, and the rest of them. How many hours should it take? Should it take 24 hours? Should it take 48 hours? Should it take 72 hours? Should it take more? What's your limit? What's your limit on it? And anyway, I don't, myself, I don't think they have any real intention of capturing anybody. I'm talking about anyone associated with the Trump administration. In my view, they have no intention of capturing anyone. They wanted this. That's my opinion. They want civil war. Putin wants civil war. And Trump's administration goal is to start one. That's his actual goal. Because if there is one, he can find a way to cancel elections. If there's these kind of problems, that's what he wants to do in the first place. He wants a reason to deny people their civil rights. And Trump is the guy to do it. He's the guy to do it. And Putin is the guy to help him. Unequivocally. He is. He's the guy to help him. And MAGA is the political party that would coalesce with Putin. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. They are. The liberals, the Democrats, they warned people against doing that. They warned people against it. They warned people against Trump. They did. They warned people against Trump. So, I don't know which way it's going to turn. I really wish the best for my country, but I don't have any illusions about what the possibilities are because, first of all, I live outside of the U.S. I mean, I don't even live in the U.S. You know what I'm saying? As an American citizen. And I'm damn sure glad I don't. I'm so happy as an American citizen, I don't. Born in Washington, D.C., both sides of my family from the beginning, from the colonial period of the country, not from some other period, from the colonial period. And, but I'm so happy I don't live in the country because, yes, this gun law shit is ignorance, complete, utter ignorance. Republicans have fucked over the safety of the richest country on earth because they use things like guns, racism, gender bias. They use those issues to rob the poor, to keep the poor distracted. That's what the Republican Party has done in the United States. They have always done that. And that's what they're attempting to do right now. And a lot of these dumbass maggots are going to go for it too. They're going to go for it. I mean, that's the history of the country. Where I live, Denmark, nobody's worried about guns. I'm walking outside in Copenhagen and I'm enjoying the sun. I'm smiling when I go outside. The last thing I'm thinking about is somebody shooting somebody. The last thing I'm thinking about is getting kicked out on the street and not paying my bills. I got a union job. The last thing I'm thinking about is not getting health care if something happens to me. No. I have universal health care. My kids have universal health care. The last thing I'm thinking about is like, damn, how my kids going to be able to afford college, afford technical school? No, I'm not thinking about that shit because my kids get paid to go to technical school. They get paid to go to college. They choose themselves and get a stipend to go. It's not connected to me at all. It's not my choice. I'm not worried. That is actually the life you're supposed to want to have. And if you're too stupid to realize that, you deserve it. Just like this guy and his goddamn words. This is his words. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. Okay. Did a black guy shoot his ass today? Where were the black cops? Any black cops out there fucking the job up? Fire them. Let's get some real help in there. If that's the case, go ahead. I don't even, I'm like, this is that guy's words, man. This is his own words.
I think it's worth a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights.
Our other God-given rights. Is it your God-given right to be shot? Damn. Look at this. Trump ally Charlie Kirk suggests children should watch public executions. This is that guy. He's warped because he's in the wealthiest, most powerful country to ever have existed on earth. And he goes for bigot tropes instead of his kids having the right to go to the best, get the best education. Instead of his kids and his family and his cousins and his neighbors to have the right to have health care just health care. He's too stupid to want those things because he's blinded by the bigotry. And you're going to hear more of it. You believe people like this, right? You believe people that have parties at their Mar-a-Lago. You believe people that have parties at Mar-a-Lago right there in that building there with pedophiles on it and little girls gives a fuck about Charlie Kirk. You do. If you're stupid enough to go for this, then you damn sure are stupid enough to go for, let me tell you, for this.
Yep. And you look at Vladimir Putin emerging from his aircraft just seconds after President Trump has emerged from his. So Trump, the first.
You're definitely stupid enough to go for that. And you did go for it. I mean, that's just the bottom line. You went for it. And when you let the wolf into the hen house, you're going to get all types of mischief. You're going to get all types of mischief. And that's what you That's apparently what, you know, folks wanted. You know, that you can't stop people from getting what they want. You can't stop people from getting what they want. If you think a guy who draws some shit like this is interested in catching the assassin of what the hell is his name? Charlie Kirk, you're dumb. You're not. You need to wake the hell up. Like, seriously, if you think the person that's going to catch, this is the dude that's going to catch the killer.
Wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst.
There must be everything. You think he got the time? Somebody who writes this don't got the time for goddamn Charlie Kirk? Or you, or your health care, or your goddamn disaster that's coming this year. Yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is, nor will I, since I also know what it is. We have certain things coming, Jeffrey. Yes, we do. Come and think of it. Enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? As a matter of fact, it was clear to me. It was clear to me. It was clear to me. Who is it signed by? Donald Trump. You know, very simple. You think this person got the time for Charlie? You really have to go to a goddamn shrink. And I refuse to walk down that path with you. I'm walking down I'm not thinking about no guns, because nobody needs guns in Denmark, because we know without the guns, it's safer. I'm for hey, we can have some collective bargaining on the healthcare and the education so everybody has a fair, decent chance in this society. I'm for shit that makes sense as an American citizen. I'm not for the dumb shit. So, but because some people just gonna have to have it the way they need to have it, you know, go right ahead and have it. But I'm not going down that path, and I don't believe Trump is going to find the person. I believe the dude is corrupt. I believe it's a setup. And until I hear differently, now, if I hear differently, I can change my mind overnight. I'm not hard-headed. I'm not stubborn. You find me the killer, show me what he looks like, tell me his background and his story, find some other people to corroborate his identity, who he is, people that grew up with him, all of this other shit. I will believe it. That's reasonable to believe. But right now, to me, I have every reason to not trust Kash Patel, to not trust Pam Bondi, to not trust Donald Trump. And if you want to go on that ride and you know, be worried about the prices of your goods and worried about all this other shit, you can feel free and go right ahead. And I will do what? What do you think I'm gonna do? I'll catch you on the other side, yo. Peeps. Release the Epstein files. Denounce violence. Guns didn't save Charlie Kirk. Nobody saved him with a gun.
They want more. Crime babies looking for food. Starvation, the recipe. People subdued when the people you trust and in for you. Deceit is the word of the day and every clue. Don't let it go. It's from the days of old. Time is up, but some still do not know. Can I make up my mind? Is it worth the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to make it mine? Life's never fair, but don't listen to the TV. Go out and take a listen to the streets with the people in the slums and the homeless bums with degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. See, they don't want you to know about the black sheep, leaving 7 rows to the 12 families all around the globe with an ancient code. Is it really asking a lot to say a debt's owed? Cause we sitting on the earth looking back at extinct, and I'm standing on some ground that's about to sink. I ain't scared for a minute, I ain't about to blink, but I documented for the world what I see and think. Feel we on the call and I feel we on the break. All Congress gonna do is waste paper and ink. Vote or die, you voted and you'll die. You can have it both ways, can't can't say it's a lie. You can march all you want, but they playing you wrong. They only understand war, it's the same old song. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. War, all they really want. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. Like a lotus coming out of the mud with colors, I create envy in those with power but jealous. I unify the poor with my song, the hell with the others. Descended the way they treat indigenous brothers, cause I understand we link forever. They try to hate us even though that we keep it together. I'm not talking about controlling the air or the weather. I'm talking about maintaining the truth, the high endeavor. A rebel drops bombs in the midst of trouble. The free world counterattack and now there's double. But nature gets the shit in a way that's subtle. If you stop the machines for a minute you might hear, but they won't, cause the TVs whisper in the ear. And capitalism has eyes that don't tear, and they cloud up and get crazy and won't steer. And like an ab, it's hard to get an ass to listen. Living like this is like living in prison. It's hard to keep hope when you're living in prison. The spiritual thoughts, so yes, the mental prison. The outside, yes, it's got to get through. Something's gotta die, so something here can live. Your life is nothing if you got nothing to give. Keeping the spiritual, yes, disguised as religion. Controlling your mind, the mental prison. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. War, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they want